Terror Resonance is an anime where they get Japanese voice actors to try and speak English.
It'll take 3 minutes to transfer the data.
You're kidding.
Today we're talking about one of my all-time favorite anime that I found when I was still pissing the bed and getting bullied by middle-aged men on Black Ops 2. A combination that goes hand in hand. It has one of my favorite endings ever. It was produced by the one and only studio known as MAPPA, the studio who is known for Chainsaw Man, Jujutsu Kaisen, and locking their staff in prison cells. They're also responsible for the production of everyone's favorite boy love anime, Banana Fish. Terror Resonance was directed by the GOAT himself, Shinichirō Watanabe. He's responsible for many great anime, my favorites including Sonic Boy and Cowboy Bebop, just not the Netflix version. Watanabe's film direction really shows here, however there is something different here. In a lot of his other works, the setting is normally something more creative and outlandish, not a modern day setting. Cowboy Bebop is set in space in the year 2071, Samurai Champloo takes place in Edo period Japan, and Space Dandy apparently takes place in the same universe as Cowboy Bebop because of this one robot. Here however we see the anime consists of a rather grim portrait of a bustling city center, straying away from his usual setting and atmosphere, which leads this anime to be a very immersive story with a very poetic message. Anime like this is always refreshing. Next to the horrible slop I decided to consume in between watching absolute works of art. I'm gonna break this anime into 4 parts, a spoiler-free rundown of the story, characters, art and atmosphere, and my thoughts on the anime and if I think you should give it a watch. The anime opens with our two protagonists, 9 and 12, breaking into a fucking nuclear power plant and W keying the fuck out of sight before rotating out, taking a nuclear bomb. Cut to the present day, it's summer and a group of girls are tormenting our token side shy girl character, Lisa, to jump in the school swimming pool. 12 pops his head over to see what's happening and says, "Oh, I know, this is called bullying." Yeah, no shit. Only mention the scene because Lisa drops probably the only thing she says over all 11 episodes that has any meaning or substance. I cannot lie, this goes pretty fucking hard. Cut to class time and our protagonists are introduced and seated. 9 is rather popular with some girls, and they ask for his number. He says he doesn't have a phone until...
What?
He kinda reminds me of this image here. Now we get introduced to my father figure, Shibazaki, slacking off in his work office when his co-worker shows him a video recorded by 2 teenage boys who look exactly like 9 and 12, but they just have Power Ranger masks on. They go on to introduce themselves as Sphinx 1 and 2. They say Tokyo will be enveloped in darkness after 3 PM, and that sparks will fly around the Shinjuku area. Skip to 3 PM in the Shinjuku area, and 9 and 12 have planted bombs around the building that looks unfortunately familiar. Before sending them off, they sound a fire alarm to get everyone out of the building so no one would be hurt. This gives us some insight into 9 and 12's intention. It shows that they're no typical terrorists, and they actually have ulterior motives. Whilst placing the bombs around the building, 12 runs into guess who? Yeah. Hey, do you wanna hold on to this bomb for me? Oh, I don't know about that, you know, okay, bye. For some reason she gets left in the building and offered by our now 2 wanted terrorist friends if she wants to become an accomplice. No clue why they did this. They swoop in, saving her just before the building blows up. From here we find out about 9 and 12's intentions and their backstory. It's written really well in my opinion. It incorporates themes and riddles that tie into Greek mythology. The result leaves the anime with a very poetic ending in my opinion. 9 is one of our 2 protagonists. He's cool as fuck in some ways, but he can also strike you as the Rick friend from time to time. He plays a popular loner role. I mean, he sits at the window seat in class, he's scared of women, and I quote, listens to music from a cold land. All these traits are fairly justified. 9 and 12 share a traumatic experience. It's what drives them to do what they're doing. 12 is our second protagonist, working alongside 9. He's fun, caring, and the complete opposite of 9, but they balance each other out and have a cool friendship with each other as a result of it. He brings an aspect of fun to this anime. It's really refreshing considering this anime is rather dark and bleak at times. It's nice that he can break up the story sometimes. I like 12, he was my second favorite character. Lisa sucks and is boring. She's pretty annoying and she's the token anime girl klutz character that we all know and hate. She wasn't all bad. She was a part of some super special scenes and was nice to have around at times. She would bring out a softer side of both of our protagonists, which added some depth to 12 and 9 that we wouldn't have seen otherwise. The story wouldn't have moved along like it did without her, but I really wish her backstory was better implemented and expanded on. If that were the case, it would have added to my interest surrounding Lisa, resulting me to care about her a whole lot more. I think there was huge potential for her to become a really special character. There's this scene towards the end of the anime where she just has a normal casual encounter with another character and then afterwards just runs off for no reason at all. I thought this was pretty funny. Shibazaki is easily my favorite character in this anime. He's an ex-detective for the police force and he got sent to the filing department. As the story progressed, we find out he has a bit of a shaky relationship with the police department, and he was only brought back onto this case due to the severity of the situation at hand. This shows that he is a bit of a loose cannon to the police force, but his experience as a detective is so good that they end up being rather lenient to any of his out-of-pocket actions. This man is just so 6'5" and nonchalant, I couldn't help but let out a nervous squeal every time he was on screen. Shibazaki is the real good guy of the story. He understands the Sphinx's moves more than anyone else due to a personal connection that we find out. I just really love this character if you couldn't tell already. He has amazing backstory that gets expanded on in quite some depth. It's really entertaining and doesn't feel like a budget cut filler arc, but rather wanting to know more about his story. The art has a perfect balance from cold tones to warm tones. During one of Shibazaki's personal arcs, he sets off to go and talk to some eyewitnesses about a case. He talks about how he hates summer. He ties it to a time when he was growing up. He goes pretty in depth about it and gets rather poetic. It's really cool how well they were able to portray a hot sunny day into a glooming feeling and atmosphere just because of his tie to it. The colder tones contrast perfectly with the dark city and the looming disasters that are about to play out. It also matches many of the characters' mood and how they may be feeling at some of their lowest times. Colors aside, there's countless pretty scenes to be appreciated. Considering its time, I think the art holds up fairly well. It still looks appealing, but it is no gacha storytime level of detail and sophistication. There's a scene where 12 picks Lisa up on his bike, and they speed through the city and share a really sweet moment with one another. This scene to me is one of the prettiest moments in the whole show. The warm light holding the scene together, opposed to the harsh yellow sun mentioned before, sets the mood and atmosphere perfectly. It slightly reminds me of the scene from Cyberpunk Edge Runners where Lucy and David ram out of an ambulance with each other and fly through the road in a fucking hospital bed. As goofy as this scene was, it's still beautiful and really special. Now, before your greasy fingers start typing a Twitter thread on me comparing these two anime together, yes, Cyberpunk Edge Runners has a significantly better art direction. I'm not really comparing how the scene looks, but more how it makes you feel. And also, it's 2014, be kind. Embarrassing confession, I actually found this anime from one of those anime lo-fi videos back in 2016. I love how the caption to that video is 3 AM feels. Don't know. Imagine a society if it was still socially acceptable to speak like this. As I'm sure you can tell already, I love this anime. I think it has something really special to offer. 8 out of 10. I really wish some of the characters' backstories got expanded on, but regardless of the characters, we did get to learn about some of them, and it was beautifully written. If you like any of Watanabe's other works, I'm sure you'll be able to get behind this. If you like detective anime, or anime that keeps you on edge due to high stakes, I think you'll also enjoy this. I absolutely could be biased in glazing this anime for more than it is, but I do have a really soft spot for any of Watanabe's work. I'm actually super excited for his anime Lazarus that he's working on. It already looks amazing. I love the art direction, how just cool the world looks. I'll probably make a video on that once it comes out. Thanks for watching.